We have quite an interesting read on the show this morning. We have here with me Managing Your Talent for Value and Visibility. And this book is written by author and certified professional coach Michael Ogu. And this morning we'll be reviewing his book, which of course he says is a must read for people who are looking to increase their value and visibility. Thank you so much for being on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so tell us quickly the motivation for writing this book.
I had come across a lot of people who have talent, but they struggle to have their talent become visible. I'll give you an example. Where I worked a couple of years ago, the head chef had a son who knew how to cook very well.
Okay.
And so in having a conversation, I asked him, how many people know that you could cook?
Okay.
I said, very few people. I said, you have raw talent, but your talent is not visible. So that was one of the inspirations that led me to write the book, Managing Your Talent for Value and Visibility.
You know, a lot of people really do not even know that they have talents. Talk less of, knowing that they are people worth of value. Now, how do I identify that I am a person of value?
Wow, interesting question. So in the book, I talk about 9 ways you could discover that you are a person of value, but I like to talk about 2. And the first is that you possess uncommon skill sets that other people do not possess easily.
How do you identify
those skill sets? So you could look inwardly and you could look outwardly. You could look inwardly through self-evaluation exercises, self-awareness exercises, taking personality assessments, and then looking outwardly, getting feedback from family, from friends, and even from colleagues. So those are 2 ways to discover, looking inwardly and outwardly.
So here you talked about the imposter syndrome and how it's a barrier to visibility. Tell us about that.
Very interesting syndrome. You know, there is the expert syndrome and there is the imposter syndrome. So the imposter syndrome is a syndrome that makes you think you are a fraud. You begin to think less of yourself. You begin to question your abilities. That, do I really have talent? And even when you have that inborn talent, you begin to find out, can I really do this thing? And you begin to question, your abilities. It can even manifest in 2 dimensions, low self-esteem, and then when you begin to unnecessarily seek external validation of what you do.
Okay, now let's talk about visibility. So, for example, I'm a talent, I know my value. What if I don't want that visibility?
Wow. You're the first person asking me this question, and to be very honest with you, I'm yet to meet someone who doesn't want their talent to be visible, But then again, I would say that the subject of visibility is relative and it's personal. So some people want to keep their talents, and some people also want their talent to be seen. Yeah. So I would ask, why wouldn't you want your talent to be seen, for goodness sake, So we just had young Sneaky in the section before this one, and I'm sure he will want his talent to be visible.
Well, he's a music artist.
He wants to blow.
Now, you also highlighted in your book here benefits of visibility. Would you like to highlight some of them?
Yes. First benefit of visibility is that it makes you a go-to person. People will want to seek your wisdom, seek you out, seek your counsel, seek your advice. The second benefit is that you get to establish yourself as an authority or as a thought leader, as people will refer to. And when you are seen as an authority, whatever you say, people will hold it in high esteem. A third benefit of visibility is that it earns you credibility, because people believe people who are authorities. People believe those who are subject matter experts. So if, for example, you were to go to a hospital, you would prefer the opinion of a consultant rather than someone who is doing housemanship. So it establishes your credibility. Those are some of the benefits of visibility.
Now let's talk about harnessing the right relationships, which you also spoke about here, and how it influences you as a person of value and also your visibility. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that chapter, Harnessing Right Relationships, for me was the chapter that touched me the most.
Okay.
Because I spent almost 4 months writing that chapter.
Wow, interesting.
And I came up with a model called the relationship optimization model. We talked about 9 types of people, or 9 classes of people that you need to pay attention to if you will become visible, or if your talent will become valuable and visible. So you have the connectors. Connectors are people that they link you up with opportunities for exposure. Then you have amplifiers. Amplifiers amplify what you carry. Then you have sharpeners. You know, when you want to sharpen an axe so that, you know, it can cut properly. Sharpeners are people who help to sharpen your saws. Your saws could be your gifts, your talents. Then you have builders. Builders are people that equip you for future opportunities.
Okay.
Then you have your encouragers. We call encouragers peace givers. They help you to stay sane. In other words, that means encouragers have a way of helping you to remain stable mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. Then we have illuminators. They are knowledge seeking. Then you have your stabilizers. They are people who stabilize you in times of unrest. Then lastly, you have your optimizer. The optimizer is the person that can operate in the other 8. And if you recognize these relationships in your life, you will know what to expect from each person. I'll give you an example. One of my friends is a connector. Throughout my career, he has always connected me with opportunities. I also have another friend who is an amplifier. She has helped to amplify my gifts. So it's recognizing these people and then knowing the value and the role they play in your life.
Each other's life. Now, there's something that I really need to say here, because you said something now that resonated with me. There's something my role model used to say. He says that you need to appreciate, a lot of us do not appreciate the value that we have. Everyone has value. How do you appreciate one's value in regards to all of these 9 classes of people that you have just mentioned?
Very interesting question. So in appreciating value, I would say that do 4 things. Show people that you care for them, because when you show people that you care, you connect with their hearts. Then go the extra mile to render support and assistance where necessary. That will be using your head and your hands. And then I would also say that in appreciating the value people bring into your life, also be there for them in down moments. So it's not every time someone is celebrating that you are there for the person. Have you been there for the person when the person has down moments? And then lastly, show that you are a friend indeed. A friend indeed is a friend in need.
Fantastic. I love what you said there. Now, finally, let's look at evoking personal transformation. Here, you broke down a few, a model on personal transformation. You call it the ACID.
Yes, that's the ACID model.
Explain that, please.
So very interesting, you know, and that chapter of the book is more or less like the forerunner to the other chapters.
Okay.
And so the ACID model starts with awareness. And I often say to people, transformation starts from the place of self-awareness.
Sure.
So then the C in the ACID model is clarity and conviction. When you have gotten to a place of awareness, you now move to clarity. Things become clear, and then you are now convinced of the decisions you need to make. Then I is insights and learnings. From all the things, from the feedback I've gotten from people around me, and even from the things I know about myself, what insights and learnings have I drawn? When you understand the place of awareness, clarity and conviction, insights and learnings, then the last point is decisions, where you can now
make those critical decisions that will help you to go to where you need to be.
Exactly.
Fantastic. I have loved every bit of this discussion. I won't even lie to you. I mean, this is a book for every young person out there. If you're still on that journey to self-discovery, this is a book for you. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you so much for having me.